Megan them then told the damn driver, I left something in Kylie's house. Take me back. Take me back. After something happened at the house, we don't know what yet. That's what they laid out. They said Megan was acting a damn fool, refusing to leave without Tory. Refusing. They go out.
Refusing to leave Kylie's house?
Refusing to leave Kylie's house unless Tory leave Kylie's house too. I did not see Tory shoot Megan. Kelsey said I was in a panic and I sent that text. They said, why did you say that Tory did it? She said, I was in a panic. Said, I got a big deal coming up. I'll give both of y'all $1 million. She don't recall all this shit. They said in September you knew, but today you don't know. They said, were you being truthful that day in September when we had this interview? She said about some things. And then she said I wasn't truthful about other things to protect myself. They said, what are you trying to protect yourself from, Kelsey? She said a variety of things. They said a variety of things like what? Kelsey could not produce an answer. She just said a variety of things. She said, I don't want to incriminate myself. They said, did you shoot Megan? She said, no. They said, what weren't you truthful about? She said, I didn't see him do it. They said, how does that incriminate you? She didn't have an answer. They said, were you scared to come up here? She said, no, but I would just rather not be in LA. It gives me anxiety. They said, Kelsey, you do understand that you're under oath, right? She said, yeah. They said, you didn't realize that Megan was bleeding? She said, no. They said, was anybody else bleeding in the car? She said, I don't know. I didn't see anybody bleeding. And then she said, I did not see Tory shoot Megan. They said, Kelsey said, I was in a panic and I sent that text. They said, why did you say that Tory did it? She said, I was in a panic. They said, were you in a panic in September? She said, no. They said, when Tory offered Megan $1 million, didn't she say, huh? She said, I don't know. They said, when the police came, were they aggressive with you? She said, yeah. They said, and didn't you tell them, don't put your knee in my back? She said, yeah. They say, didn't you tell the police, no, didn't you tell us that your adrenaline was high after you got handcuffed and that you wasn't worried about yourself because you was worried about Megan at the time? She said, yeah. They said, didn't you say that you didn't think about yourself? You were worried about Megan. And she said, yeah. And they said, what happened after that? After she got out of the county? They said, what happened after that scene on the curb and shit with the police? She said, I was taken to the county jail. They said, were you swabbed for gunshot residue? She said, I don't remember that. And then they say, didn't you tell us when we took you in the room to question you that you want a lawyer because that's what people ask for on movies and on TV? And she said, yeah. They said, what happened after that?
Witness 1, Kelly, Sean, advised he lived at 1841 Courtney Avenue. He stated he heard arguing outside of his bedroom. He looked outside and observed a black Escalade. He stated the passenger door was open and observed 4 suspects, 2 females and 2 males. Kelly stated one male was heavy-set and the second was thin-built. He stated the rear passenger exited from the vehicle, one of the females, and began fighting with the other female. At one point Kelly observed one female crawl out of the black Escalade and onto the driveway of 1841 N Nichols Canyon. Kelly heard approximately 4 to 5 gunshots. Kelly stated both males were punching, closed fists, one of the females and dragged her into the vehicle. The vehicle fled southbound on Nichols Canyon Road, briefly stopped at a driveway, and continued southbound. The suspect vehicle was a black SUV, which was last seen southbound on Nichols Canyon Toa Hollywood Boulevard. Investigation. Officers Diaz number 44,280, Olivia number 31,131, Walker number 43,587 and Aguilar #43556 responded to 1841 N Nichols Canyon Road, met with witnesses and provided officers with the following statements.
So they said, you remember July 2020? And he said, yeah. They said, you live near Nichols Canyon Road, right? He said, yeah. And he said, what happened that day? He said, I was asleep, and at the back of my house, there's a driveway and a garage. He said, I heard shouting, so I opened the balcony windows to ask them to leave. They said, could you tell us if you saw a vehicle when you awoken? And he said, yeah. You heard the noises and arguing, then what happened? He said, I looked through the windows, and I saw 2 girls arguing. Right side of the car, the doors were open. He said, I opened my doors and I stepped onto the balcony and they started fighting. Yes. So pulling hair,
hitting each other.
Quite violent is what he said. He said, I only saw 2 girls, and then I saw a tall guy get out of the driver's side.
One big, one small.
Yeah, he said he was in all black, and he was black, okay? And he was a larger gentleman. He said she got into the passenger side of the car, and they were still fighting. They said she just kept kicking. He said all I was seeing was her legs kicking her. I don't know, several minutes. He said I was still on the balcony. He said, and nothing was in my way. Like he said, I saw one girl go to the car, and then I saw what I thought was fireworks, but now I know that it was a muzzle flash. So that's what they said, you saw the muzzle flash? He said, yes. And then they said, where? He said, I saw the muzzle flash closer to the girls. They said, is that the same lady that you saw fighting the one who the flash went off by? Yeah. They said, and she was just kicking. He said, I heard the gun go off, and they were still fighting. He said, eventually, the girl, and this is what they said, he said, the girl that got beat up crawled and went across the street. He said 2 people had the gun. That's what he said. He said, who had it initially? He said, the girl. I only saw flashes from the girl.
Verdict is in, guilty on all counts. They went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 12. Every single person said guilty. Tory was taken into custody, remanded into custody. No bond at this time. Sentencing is set for January 27th.